Welcome to our channel name as Code with Toby. So in this video we are building a RAG application. So RAG stands for Retrieval Augmentation Generation. So first of all, why we need RAG? If you have used any large language model, then you know they are not trained on your personal or latest data. To work on that type of data, we can use RAG. So, if you want an large language model to answer your query, which is on something in which the large language model is not trained, then you have to provide some information which are relevant to that query. Then we will send our query and the relevant information in a prompt to that LLM to generate the answer. So, to build the RAG application, we are using LangChain, which is a framework which we use when we need to work with context-aware application with the large language model. And we are using ChromaDB, which is a vector store where we are storing our data in a vector form. And for embedding model, we are using ByBusyBase English version 1.5, which is an embedding model. So why we need an embedding model? Because our data will be in characteristic format and we want it to be in vector format, because most of the machine learning models only work with numerical data. So that's why we need an embedding model to convert the characteristic data to a vector format. And apart from that, we are using a wizard coder model as an open source large language model. So before moving towards the code, let's first briefly understand the flow of our RAG application. So we have some data which is in PDF format. So to work on that data, we have to first extract the data from that PDF. So we have the data in raw format and we are extracting that data. We are using PyPDF for that. It is a library which is in LangChain. So after extracting that data, we are splitting that data into chunks. So there are two reasons for that. The first is we only want to pass the relevant information to the LLM. We don't want to pass the irrelevant information to the LLM. And the second reason, all the large language model have some token limit. So that's why we can't just pass all the data to the LLM. We will be passing only the relevant information to the LLM. So after splitting the data into chunks, we are converting the characteristic data into a vector format using an embedding model. And after that, we are storing those vector in a vector store. In our case, we are using ChromaDB. And after that, here come the second part where user will have some query. We will pass the query to the LLM with the relevant data, which we will find using some retrievers. In our case, we are using multiple retrievers such as cosine similarity retriever and the maximum marginal rate retriever. So after retrieving the relevant data from the vector store based on the query, we will pass the query along with relevant data to the LLM to generate the response. Let's move towards the code. Let's start by installing Python in our system. So open your browser, search Python, go to their official website. Here you can see the latest version of Python is 3.13.1, but you won't install it because there will always be some libraries which are not compatible with the latest version of Python. Click on this Windows. We will install a bit older version. Let's go with 3.12.5. Click on this Windows installer. After the download is complete, open this file. check both of these boxes because we also want to add our Python part to the environment variable. Go to this customize installation, check all the boxes. If they are not checked, click on next, check the first one, click install. Now wait for the installation. Now installation is done. Click on the close your browser. Now let's first open the terminal. Check if the Python is installed correctly or not. So as you can see, the Python is correctly installed. And the version which I am using for this project is 3.12.5, and make sure you are using the same version which I am using so that you don't get any other error while working on this reg application. Let's check the pip version also. So yeah, it's correctly installed. If you are using some other version and want to change your Python version, just go to the environment variable, click on the environment variables, click on this path, edit. If you have multiple Python version, just move the version of Python which you want to use to the upside. So after that, you can click on OK, OK, and OK. Let's start work on our reg application by creating a new folder. Let's name it as a reg. Open this folder in terminal. Now we will create a virtual environment, and all of our work of reg application we will do that in virtual environment. Why we need a virtual environment? Because when we work with this type of application, most of the time we have to do the compatible check between the libraries, like which version of a particular library is compatible with the version of another library, and we don't want to change our system setting because of that. So let's start by creating a virtual environment, Python env, and now we have to give the path where we want to create the virtual environment. Let's name it as a reg application. It will take some time. Now our virtual environment is created. Go to this reg application folder. Now let's activate the virtual environment. It can be done by using this command, scripts activate. This will work only when you are in PowerShell, Windows PowerShell. For CMD and for base it will be different. So go to your browser, search Python virtual environment, go to their official documentation. So here we can see the command to create the virtual environment, and if you go a little below, here we can see the commands to activate the virtual environment for PowerShell, which we used, and for command for base. Now whichever shell you are using, you can check here the command to activate the virtual environment. So now let's go back to the our PowerShell. So if we enter now, we will get an error that it cannot be loaded because the running scripts is disabled on this system. So we have to first enable this to run this. So open the terminal as an administrator. Now here type this command to activate the running scripts. Set execution policy. Again type execution policy. Then type remote sign. It will enable the scripts. So now close this and again try this command. Now as we can see, we can activate our virtual environment. Let's first clear. Now the first thing which you will do is to install the Jupyter Lab. So pip install Jupyter. It will take some time to install all the dependent libraries, and as we can see, Jupyter is successfully installed in our virtual environment. So let's open this in our browser by typing Jupyter Lab. This command will open the Jupyter Lab in your browser.